Have you ever wondered what would happen if the Earth, our giant spinning top in space, suddenly just stopped? It's a question that sounds like it's straight out of a disaster movie. But the reality is far more mind-blowing than anything Hollywood could dream up. Right now, you, me, and everything on this planet are hurtling through space at over 1,000 miles per hour at the equator. We don't feel it because everything around us, the air, the oceans, the ground beneath our feet, is moving along with us. It's like being in a car cruising smoothly on a highway. You only notice the speed when you look out the window, or if the car suddenly slams on the brakes. Now, imagine that's exactly what happens to our planet. One moment, we're spinning along peacefully. The next, the ground beneath us comes to a dead halt. But everything else, our bodies, our homes, the very atmosphere keeps moving at that incredible speed. The inertia would be catastrophic. It wouldn't be a gentle slowdown. It would be an instantaneous planet-wide cataclysm. The first thing you'd experience is being launched eastward at supersonic speeds. Everything not anchored deep into the Earth's bedrock would become a projectile. People, cars, trees, buildings, even the topsoil itself would be ripped from the surface and flung across the landscape. The sheer force would be unimaginable, turning entire cities into a blur of debris traveling faster than a speeding bullet. The friction from this sudden, violent movement would generate immense heat, likely igniting massive firestorms that would sweep across the globe. The sound alone would be deafening, a continuous, global sonic boom as the atmosphere shears itself from the planet's surface. But the atmosphere is just the beginning. Think about the oceans. They're held in place by a delicate balance of gravity and the centrifugal force from Earth's spin, which causes them to bulge slightly at the equator. If that spin vanishes, so does the bulge. The water, driven by its own immense inertia, would surge across the continents in the form of colossal tsunamis. These wouldn't be waves like we know them. They would be moving walls of water, miles high, sweeping across entire continents at hundreds of miles per hour. Within minutes, every coastal city in the world would be annihilated. But the chaos wouldn't stop there. Without the centrifugal force to keep them in place, the oceans would begin to migrate. Gravity would pull all the water on the planet towards the 2 points of strongest gravitational pull, the North and South Poles. Over time, the world map would be completely redrawn. The equator would become a new supercontinent, a wide, dry belt of land encircling the planet, while 2 massive oceans would form, covering the polar regions. Any land that once existed near the poles, like Antarctica and Greenland, would be submerged under miles of water. The world we know would literally be turned inside out, with a single massive landmass separating 2 polar oceans. And what about our days and nights? The familiar cycle of sunrise and sunset would be gone forever. A day on Earth would now last a full year. For 6 months, one side of the planet would face the sun relentlessly. Temperatures would soar to unbearable levels, boiling away any remaining surface water and scorching the land into a lifeless desert. The unceasing sunlight would be brutal, sterilizing everything it touched. Meanwhile, the other half of the planet would be plunged into a 6-month-long night. Without sunlight, temperatures would plummet to Arctic extremes, freezing everything solid. The transition between these 2 zones would be a narrow twilight zone around the planet, a sliver of land in perpetual dusk. This might be the only place where temperatures could theoretically support life, but it would be a bleak, windswept wasteland. The devastation doesn't end there. Earth's rotation is what generates our magnetic field, a crucial shield that protects us from harmful solar radiation and cosmic rays. This magnetic field, called the magnetosphere, deflects charged particles from the sun, preventing them from stripping away our atmosphere and bombarding the surface. If the Earth stops spinning, the liquid iron core that generates this field would eventually slow down and cease its dynamo effect. The magnetic field would weaken and eventually disappear. Without this shield, our planet would be defenseless. The sun's radiation would pour into our atmosphere, making the surface uninhabitable for any form of life. It would break apart the chemical bonds of water and air molecules, gradually eroding our atmosphere and letting it bleed out into space. The sky, if you could even call it that, would be a terrifying light show of auroras. But these wouldn't be the beautiful, gentle lights we see at the poles. They would be a sign of our planet's death, as deadly particles rain down upon the surface. Life as we know it would be impossible. So, in this hypothetical nightmare, what would be left? The Earth would become a stark, silent world. One side a scorched, sun-baked desert. The other a frozen wasteland of ice and darkness. Between them, a thin ring of perpetual twilight. The oceans would be two giant, motionless polar caps. The atmosphere would be thin and irradiated. Perhaps, just perhaps, some extremophile life might cling on microbes deep underground. Or creatures clustered around hydrothermal vents at the bottom of the new polar oceans, completely oblivious to the apocalypse that unfolded on the surface. They would be the last remnants of a once vibrant world. But here's the good news. This is all just a thought experiment. The laws of physics, specifically the conservation of angular momentum, ensure that the Earth won't just stop spinning. It's been spinning for over 4.5 billion years, ever since it formed from a swirling disk of dust and gas. It would take an unimaginable external force, something like a collision with a rogue planet of a truly epic scale, to halt its rotation. So you can sleep soundly tonight. The sun will rise tomorrow, just as it always has. But this little journey into the impossible is a powerful reminder of the incredible, delicate balance that makes our world possible. Our planet is a complex, beautiful machine, and its constant motion is the rhythm that sustains all of life. Thank you so much for watching. It's wild to think about how much we depend on things we can't even feel, isn't it? If you enjoyed this cosmic thought experiment, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the wonders and what-ifs of our universe. Let me know in the comments what other crazy scenarios you'd like to explore. Until next time, stay curious.